From Nutrien Ag Solutions, I'm Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, August 19th, 2024. What do we have to talk about here? More scattered storms. A couple of corridors here, three of them that could see some severe weather. That first one here across western into north central Alberta could see a few strong storms here through midday across southern portions of Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and then also some isolated to scattered stronger storms possible from Saskatoon on to the north and to the northeast. Now, as we head through the rest of the week, variable precipitation, that is the name. Folks in southwestern portions of Saskatchewan down into southern Alberta going to be on the drier spot. North of there, anywhere from 5 to 20 millimeters of precipitation across north central Alberta. Maybe some corridors of heavier precipitation across central and southern Saskatchewan, and then a bit on the drier side across southern portions of Manitoba as well. All of these areas seeing anywhere from maybe a trace to 10 millimeters of precipitation. The heavier spot here from central into southern Saskatchewan, that's where maybe we could see up to 25 millimeters, maybe some very localized areas picking up a little bit more. Better chances for heavier rain as we get toward the weekend into early next week. Otherwise, pretty variable, hit or miss as we go through the next 5 to 7 days. The temperatures still running a bit above normal. We'll have some variable or variation day to day as frontal boundaries pass through, as some areas see, stormier days, keeping those temperatures a bit cooler, but by and large running a few degrees warmer compared to average here for the third week of August. Now, the last 7 days of precipitation, we had a couple corridors of heavier rainfall. The first one here across western portions of Alberta, kind of from Calgary up to Peace River, over toward the general Edmonton area, and then southern portions of Manitoba. Those areas picking up anywhere from 20 to 50 millimeters, some locally heavier amounts as well. And then as forecast, the drier spot here, kind of southern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan, pretty hit or miss across these areas over the last 7 days. Now, as we look at the the infrared satellite picture here on Monday morning, a couple of things to point out. We've got this big swirl here just off the coast. That's associated with the push of stronger jet stream flow that's going to be kicking off those showers and storms over the next 5 days or so, as little kind of, pieces of that rotate around the base and then lift into the prairie, much like this system right now across southern portions of Alberta into southwestern Saskatchewan. And then we've got that other little disturbance on the northern end here, kicking off some showers and storms north of Peace River over toward north of Edmonton. So as we kind of look at the radar picture, matching all of that up, again, between Prairie and Edmonton, we've got some showers and storms ongoing, and then same thing across southwestern Saskatchewan, southeastern Alberta. We may see this, corridor of storms continue off to the east over the next couple of hours as well, before, again, seeing some corridors of showers and storms that could be on the severe side right across these areas over the next 24 hours. Those temperatures are on the warm side in most areas, except where we've got those showers and storms ongoing, anywhere from the middle teens up to the middle 20s already here, as the sun is first coming up on Monday morning. So a warm start to the day for a lot of folks. As we look at the next 7 days of precipitation, this really kind of covers what we talked about. Some chances for some heavier rainfall across central Alberta. And then as we get into southeastern portions of Saskatchewan, maybe the chance for anywhere from 12 to 25 millimeters of precipitation, and then pretty variable across the rest of the region, really ramping up as we get into week 2. So kind of comparing here, this is this week's precipitation. A lot of folks below 15 to 20 millimeters, and then as we get into next week, still not a great sign that we're going to be, bringing moisture into southern Alberta, where it's been dry for the last couple of weeks, but portions of southern Saskatchewan, central Saskatchewan, maybe over into Manitoba, could be on the lookout for some heavier rainfall as we get into next week. Same thing for you in western Alberta, seeing that forecast precipitation getting up to around an inch or more. Now, as we look at the fire danger over the last several days, we brought some heavy rainfall into portions of central and northern Alberta. That's really dropped the risk across this region, at least in the near term. The highest risk for fires across the prairie right now would be across southern Alberta. And then the other higher risk area is going to be northern British Columbia up into the Northwest Territories, far northern portions of Canada. So now we'll animate the 500 millibar height anomalies. This will kind of show the theme over the next several days. Again, right now, pretty amplified across the region. You see some ridging across the Pacific, some ridging here across central Canada, and then we've got this trough right now across the Pacific that's kind of sending little disturbances into the prairie, and that's why, again, we're kind of a mix of dry with corridors of showers and storms is what this pattern gets us. It's not blasting us with moisture, but we're not fully ridged out either, so we're just seeing those little thunderstorm clusters developing across the prairie. Now, as we go through the next 5 to 7 days, this takes us into Wednesday. This would be Thursday, the 22nd. Now getting into Friday, you see this trough kind of dropping down the coast of British Columbia. It's going to drop into the northwestern U.S. before kind of recurving back to the northeast and lifting into the Prairie. It sends a disturbance into the Prairie midweek, Wednesday into Thursday, and then you watch it here. This is now getting into the weekend. You see it kind of falling off there, and then it lifts in early next week, Monday, Tuesday. This is the one that could bring some heavier precipitation to parts of the Prairie. So we'll have time to talk about this one, I guess, next Monday morning. We'll be talking about a system lifting in, who's going to get the heavier rain. Right now, it looks like southern Alberta. Right now it looks like southern Saskatchewan into central Saskatchewan, maybe portions of southern Manitoba, with southern Alberta being kind of the drier spot. But that is subject to change. We'll be watching this closely over the next 4 to 5 days because that system here over the end of the weekend into early next week is kind of the bigger trough, the bigger system that could bring some heavier precipitation in. You see another wave kind of drop in behind that one Tuesday into Wednesday before high pressure moves back in. So we're not in one or the other when it comes to a completely hot and dry pattern or a cool stormy pattern. Really, we continue to see a progressive pattern, one that's giving us some variety over the next 7 to 10 days. So we'll look at the wind speeds with all of that. Again, looking for flow coming into the Prairie. We've got some of it here this week. You can just kind of see this straight, corridor of southwest to northeast flow, and that is what gives us those corridors of showers and storms over the next 48 hours or so. I'll take all of my drawings off here. We'll go through the next several days. This takes us into Wednesday, Thursday. You're seeing this pattern continue to evolve. This big trough drops down over the weekend. And then it is as we get into Sunday and Monday, you see it lifting back into the region. Another trough that comes in on the backside, bringing us a chance for some precipitation. So now we'll look at the precipitation forecast. We'll go ahead and bring it back here. Getting started on Monday, as we get into Monday afternoon and evening, look for some corridors of showers and storms. Those areas that we could see some severe weather, we already highlighted on that severe weather outlook. That being across north central Alberta, north central Saskatchewan, and then southern portions of Saskatchewan and Alberta. This takes us into Tuesday evening. Wednesday, you're seeing those, just scattered showers and storms continuing across the Prairie. This is Thursday. This is now Friday, a little bit of a break as the next system lifts in over the weekend. Saturday. This is now Sunday. This is now getting into early next week. This is when, right now, the European model has this area of low pressure kind of lifting into the, southern portions of Saskatchewan, as it would be verbatim here. This is midnight Sunday into Monday, August 26th. This is when we could be talking about more in the way of high impact, heavier precipitation across the Prairie. So here's your severe weather outlook today. Look for the chance for some isolated severe storms, dropping some hail, maybe some gusty winds, maybe a funnel cloud or an isolated tornado possible out there from Calgary up toward Edmonton, and then again from Saskatoon to the northeast, and then here across south central portions of Saskatchewan. Your total precipitation just through the work week, so this is Monday through Friday. Again, drier across southern Alberta into southwestern Saskatchewan. The chance for maybe 5 to 15 millimeters of precipitation across north central Alberta. Better chance for maybe some corridors of heavier precipitation with some of this thunderstorm activity. Maybe seeing some areas get up to 1 inch or 25 millimeters across central and southern Saskatchewan. And then southern Manitoba, most areas on the drier side here. We're talking about a few millimeters up to maybe 10 millimeters of precipitation through Friday. Now, as I add in the 5 days that follow that, so this takes us all the way through next week. This is from the National Blended Model, so taking a blend of the models that we have available to us, looking for the themes here. Again, this area here that's been hit hard, that would be Calgary up toward Edmonton, over toward Grand Prairie. Hit hard, just regularly hit with these showers and storms. You've got the chance for another 25 to 50 millimeters over the next 10 days. Southern Alberta. I need another cup of coffee. My provinces are just flying off the tongue right now in all sorts of ways. Southern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan, you're on the drier side here, anywhere from a trace to a few millimeters of precipitation. This corridor here, we're going to be talking a lot about that as we get into early next week. So you see some higher totals here. This is going to be subject to change. We'll highlight who's going to be seeing the most of this early next week as we do our next Monday morning update. One more look here, the European ensemble. Again, this corridor, a lot of this comes over the weekend into early next week. This is your total precipitation through Sunday. Drier here across southern Alberta, wetter kind of over the top of that. Looking at those temperatures, again, anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees C above average over the next 7 days, but we will see some variability built into that. So Calgary, 29 today, down to 21 on Wednesday, back up to 27 on Friday. You see some of these fronts kind of sweeping through the area here, knocking those temperatures down. And then on the leading edge of each storm system, we see those temperatures on the rise. So frontal boundaries passing through the area, giving us these day-to-day temperature variations, but overall, temperatures anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees above what would be average this time of year. Regina, you're on the warmer side, 33 today, 31 tomorrow, down to 26 on Thursday, back up to around 30 on Friday and Saturday. Very similar in Saskatoon, just chop off a couple degrees. And then Winnipeg, you do the same thing, bouncing between 25 to 29 with those overnight low temperatures in the mid to upper teens.